In 1971, a cleaner called Priscilla was working at Southampton University. Housed at the university were two artefacts known as the Hexam heads. These two small heads, roughly the same size as a tennis ball, were described by university staff as evil-looking. They had arrived at the university in a small coffin-shaped box after being found in the back garden of a house in Hexam, Northumberland. So disturbing in appearance, the heads were handled with caution by the prominent archaeologist who had taken a severe dislike to them from the outset. When Priscilla arrived in the room where the heads were located on her usual evening rounds, she had the distinct impression that someone was in the room with her, even though she knew there was no one else in the building. She began polishing the cabinet where the heads were located, and all of a sudden felt a cold draught and began to feel shivery, and felt herself hurrying to finish her cleaning that night, brushing off the unusual feeling. It just wasn't like her to feel that she had to get home quickly. Travelling home, Priscilla could not shake this sensation, this cold heaviness, and the feeling that her thoughts were not her own, as if something else was inside her head. On arriving home, the house was empty. Her husband was out playing darts, and her daughter was out with a friend. Priscilla made herself a cup of tea. A few hours later, her husband Jack arrived home, and her daughter soon after, going straight upstairs to bed. Jack went upstairs, and Priscilla said she was going to join him in a few moments. She must have drifted off to sleep in her comfy armchair when she heard a sound. It was her daughter's voice. Her heart started to pound, and opening her eyes, she saw a huge man standing over her. In the half-light, Priscilla couldn't be sure if it was a huge man or a large wolf, but it was standing on two legs. It was dark and covered in thick black hair. It glared at her, its yellow eyes coldly staring. Her daughter had also seen the creature moments before her mother and had called out to her in terror. The creature then ran off, jumping through an open window and landing in the garden. In shock, the police were called and the garden was searched. There were no visible footprints in the moist soil. It had rained that day, and the police were at a loss to explain the sighting. So shaken were the family, Priscilla left her job at the university, and the family moved house, as they all agreed they could not stay there, having had such a frightening experience. It was years later that Priscilla read an article by the archaeologist about her experience with the heads when she had taken them home to do further examinations. She too experienced strange happenings and experienced the same sighting as Priscilla. The archaeologist had described in her article seeing a creature that was half man, half wolf. A werewolf.